Yo.
Yo.
Man.
Avengers dropped a new album.
And it's the saddest shit ever. Like, I just texted word up to Kristen. I think she put it the best. It feels like I have a brick. Someone threw a brick into my chest. Like, I feel like I need a support group after watching Avengers, dude. It feels like I lost my best friend.
You know, we always make that joke where it's like, Peter! Tink, tink, tiddling, tink, tink.
Word up to Dan Cook. Short boxers.
I think that's the first time anybody's ever said word up to Dan Cook.
Yeah. Short boxers. It's now 10:50 p.m. Opening night for Avengers. Drew and I just got back from the theater. First thing we want to do, going to spark up. Yeah, McDonald's came through in the clutch, but it was important for us to record our thought. Like, it was the quietest car ride we've ever had in our lives. And if you've ever been in a car with Drew and I,
forcibly be quiet.
If you have ever been in a car with Drew and I, you know that's not how it goes. It's a lot of screaming, music, cursing, debating, talk. But we didn't say a word to each other. Mainly because I was like, Drew, shut the fuck up. Do not talk to me. I need a moment. Save it for the podcast. But we are now recording. And D, give me some words right now that describe your feelings or experience of watching that movie, coming out of that movie.
I texted you, my favorite quote of all time is, all words are made up, said by Thor.
Did you say that when I went to the bathroom? Like
no,
a fool?
he said that like way in the beginning when spoiler alert, when he met the Guardians of the Galaxy and he was like saying all this stuff and they're like, are you making up words? He's like, all words are made up.
Oh, real quick, don't worry about spoiler alerts because I'm going to add a tag, and if you're listening to this, then you really shouldn't be. Let me ask you this, because you've been watching all of the movies leading up. You've been watching a handful of the older movies leading up to this. I think you just wanted to kind of get like prepared, refresh yourself. Mm-hmm. I mean, was it worth it? Is this the crown jewel?
It didn't even prepare me. Like nothing. Everything. I was just like, yo, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. None of that shit happens. If you go in there and you try to be like, all right, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. None of that.
I mean, there's some things that you can see, but I think the ending. I got to give Marvel like props, man. I really thought they were going. I thought they were going to feint a sad ending. I thought they were just going to like. I thought they were going to do like how Infinity Gauntlet does in the comics. And if you've never read it, Thanos snaps his fingers, kills basically the entire universe or half of it or whatever.
Half the universe.
And then he's like, well, that was a mistake. Now I'm lonely. There's no one to rule, etc. He has kind of like a existential crisis, and he brings everyone back. I thought they were going to do that.
I thought they were going to make people forget. Like I thought that like what was going to happen was going to be this like, oh, like everything's new, and then you just forget. Like,
but for them to end it on that note, like folks, I'm sure that
you waited 10 years, and I got to wait another 10 years.
It's such like, a good. The bait and switch. This is like the definition of
fuck you ever. Like, yo, Marvel fans, you love us? Yeah. 10 years? Yeah. Fuck you. You coming back?
I've never seen a more somber theater than what we just experienced. I mean, normally people are leave with the energy. The kids are like reenacting scenes. Yo, it felt like everyone left a funeral.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Also, Marvel made it a point where you have to see every single movie that's ever come out just to get any type of reference. Any type of reference.
Do you think you don't think that anyone could just go in there?
No.
I think there's
no way. And if you go in there, fuck you for going in there.
You didn't deserve it.
You didn't deserve it. You didn't 10 years.
That is insane to think that we waited 10 years.
Everybody has made a point. Like every like, dude, I'm telling you, they've made references to every single movie.
Okay, so the biggest, I think, moment for me, like surprise moment that was like a payoff for anyone that was paying attention to the whole entire MCU was the Red Skull appearance.
Red Skull.
When they surprised, I was thrown the fuck back. I was telling you, I was like, yo, that's the Unseen. I was like, yo, that's the Unseen. That's supposed to be like the Watcher or Nick Fury's character in Marvel now. But Red Skull, and it wasn't even like Nazi Red Skull. It was like, I fucked up, Red Skull. Like, yo, I've been here for years. Like, y'all really shouldn't be here, Red Skull.
He's like, yo, I like, and then I like the fact that that's his pentolence.
Yeah,
where he's just like, he can see it, but he can never touch it.
There were so many deep
deep cuts, man.
Deep
cuts.
themes, man. Like Thanos.
I didn't know that Thanos was like. And here's the thing, too. Like, I'm sorry to interrupt, but now, what I love about this movie now is now I have a voice. I have a voice
Josh
for
Brolin,
Thanos.
Man. God
Bro,
damn.
like that dude is like everything about that movie. Just, and that's the thing too. Like, it didn't make Thanos the bad guy.
Yeah.
Thanos is not the bad guy at all.
You know what?
Like
they're on a roll with this whole sympathetic like villain because they knocked it out the park with Killmonger and Thanos. I really went in there expecting him to be like a one-dimensional like
asshole.
I'm here to conquer, kick ass, collect the gems, and then I'm gonna be stopped at the end.
Man.
No,
he's like
when he was faced with the decision to kill Gamora, I loved all those scenes with him and Gamora because it was like, man, he's kind of got a heart.
Yeah, and when he's like, "Yo, I made this mistake once. I'm not gonna make a mistake again."
Goodness gracious,
and he's
man.
just like, "Yo, so what do you need it for?" He's like, "Yo, I'm the." And then like the part where he's talking about how like the burden
that's
make
right.
the
That's
decisions.
what I was fucking with a lot was just that how much you could tell how heavy all of this kind of was.
Yeah.
Like he was like, someone has to do it, and I'm the only strong-willed person that will carry out all of this, regardless of the cost it has on my soul. What I've had to sacrifice, someone has to. He so believed it, and it was like,
he's not the villain.
definitely the villain for all the lives.
I like the part, dude. And then the awesome part was, dude, when they broke down his origin. You know, it's funny when Marvel announced that they were going to do a Thanos origin movie. I was like, But now after watching this movie, I was like, oh yeah, like that. This Avengers Infinity was an Avengers movie. They should have called that just the Thanos movie because that's basically. I was more hyped for all the Thanos parts. Mm-hmm. More than like, and I was really excited about the Avengers, but just like it was Thanos that like sold me.
So I want to get to the heroes in a minute, but since we're on Thanos, let's talk about his sidekicks and his Black Order, because I want to stick to the villains real quick because I felt that they basically took everything that Hickman wrote for the Black Order and translated it perfectly.
So is it Black Order? That's their first appearance, right? They never showed up before then. I'm going to put money that I believe that is their first appearance. It's going to be in some one Hickman story. I think Hickman was the creator. Uh-huh. But, I mean, we're talking help me out because I'm Black Dwarf.
Supergiant
wasn't there.
Supergiant was not there. She was the only one. Proximia of the Trident.
Yep.
Which they didn't go through their names unless I missed it.
No, I don't think they did.
So for our listeners, Proxima, what's her name?
Proximia Midnight.
Yeah, Proximia Midnight is one with the Trident. The
Ebony
female.
Ma.
Ebony Ma is the
the
sorcerer one.
The sorcerer, like that badass dude, the guy that whispers. Mm-hmm. Clorvis
Claw or whatever.
Clovis thing. That dude.
He was in the cloak.
And Black Dwarf.
Yep, and Black Dwarf, the big kind of rocky monster. Dude, Ebony Maw stole that show in the beginning, man.
I loved his speech because he was just basically like the way he sold Thanos was just this religious
as a savior,
savior, religious like.
You know who Thanos reminded me of, but better? He reminded me of like Ronan from the First Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But Ronan, better.
Yeah.
He was like this kind of spiritual nut.
I would really wish they did Ronan in that aspect because like he was just like Ronan. They made him seem like he was just like this extreme terrorist, almost like who am I talking about? The dudes that like are. Oh my god.
Like he was like a religious fanatic.
Religious fanatic. What am I thinking about? Like now, the dudes that like the terrorist group.
Al Qaeda.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm saying. He reminded me of like this weird ass Al Qaeda like that. Thanos was just like this. That was that dude, like that fucking dude.
And I think we got all the names right. I pulled it up, and it's their first appearance. The Black Order's first appearance was Infinity #1, created by Jonathan Hickman, Opeña. So that consists of Black Dwarf, Corvus Glaive, Ebony Maw, Proxima Midnight, and Supergiant was not there, but she didn't really play a big part in Infinity anyways.
Well, she did.
Towards the end, but I mean, she only had a guest appearance. So let me ask that before we go to the heroes. We read Infinity #1 through 6. We didn't read any of the tie-ins.
Yeah, we just kind of wanted to see the.
We wanted to get a refresher. Who are the Black Order again? What are their powers?
And kind of see like what they would do. Avengers, like what would Avengers Infinity War take from there? And they took a lot.
What do you think they took?
Two things that were going on. The two wars that are going on.
Yep, the two-sided war where it was on Earth and in space. Actually, it was like three-way because, I mean, you had Thor going to get his hammer. You had the Guardians going to Titan. And then you had the war on Earth to, save the Soul Stone. And real quick, for our listeners, we've championed before Jonathan Hickman's masterpiece that is Infinity. It's one of the more latest Marvel crossovers, and that took place between New Avengers, and then Infinity. And it, like Drew said, it stars
It's hands
Thanos.
down probably the best. It is. I'm telling you right now, Hickman is probably. I would just put him up there. If there was a Mount Rushmore of Marvel writers and stuff besides Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, like Hickman would have to go over there.
Hickman is fantastic. So they did a fantastic job with the Black Order. Thanos knocked it out the park. I'm gonna name some heroes, and you tell me what are some of your favorite moments that stand out.
All right,
Iron Man. Favorite moment.
When I almost cried. Real quick,
listeners.
When I almost cried.
If you know Drew, you know that he wears his emotion on his sleeves. He's very emotional. When Drew,
like a bitch.
And one of his favorite phrases is, "Yo, that shit made me cry." Before we got into the theaters, Drew grabbed my arm and looked me dead in the fucking soul, and said, "Yo, if I cry, just understand it's coming from a real place. I've waited 10 years for this movie." That scene where Iron Man gets stabbed by Thanos, this man grabbed my arm even harder than that. I think he might have fractured a bone. I looked in his eyes, tears, folks. He was watering up, and that is a great scene.
Good. I'm
because
telling you, Iron Man.
I really thought they were going to kill him off. I was like, "Oh shit,
dude!" No,
oh shit.
And then here's the thing: the acting. They pulled one on me. I told you, I was like, "Yo, they're going to kill Iron Man. They're going to kill him."
I thought so.
And they give it to you. They're like, "Yo, he's about to die." You're like, "Fuck, this is where he dies," and then he has to live with the burden of everybody that he didn't save.
God.
That Peter scene, bro, come on.
Yo, they got rid of. For them to kill off Spider-Man this early?
They're like, "Yo, we don't have to pay you for shit."
Come. All right, when I think Iron Man, I think of that suit. I think the suit.
I wish Thanos would have looked right in that reboot.
That suit to me, I love. I think every movie they always seem to like kick Iron Man's CGI up a notch.
I didn't like
for
the
them
suit.
that was the extremity armor, the whole nana.
Is it really?
All of that.
See, I thought it was more or less like the Chitauri. I thought he had like. It was Chitauri stuff. But one thing I liked about it was that anytime that he would throw something at Thanos, a little bit of his armor would go away.
Dude.
All
them rockets and the boots, his boots kicking ass was so dope. And when he tossed that shit into Thanos' hand to keep him from closing it, come on, dude.
Another part. Oh, I didn't even notice that was. Dude, the part where he's just like, all that for a drop of blood? like holy shit. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, no.
All right, I'm just going to jump the Hulk and I'll give you mine. The fact that we got Hulk, that off the bat, Marvel was like, "Yo, this is how badass Thanos is. He's going to fuck up Hulk in the first 5 minutes
Oh,
of the
dude,
movie."
yeah, I forgot all about the first 5 minutes.
They killed fucking Loki.
They killed
Loki in the first
murdered the
10.
Fuck out of No. And here's the thing. Let's take a moment of silence for Heimdall.
Man.
Bro, I didn't even was thinking about all these.
G.
Yo, Heimdall was just like, "Yo, this is my last thing." Sends him off.
Who do we have confirmed killed? Because I think first, real quick, what were your guesses before?
My guesses
while we were driving, you said
Loki.
Okay, you got that.
Loki, Vision.
I said that they were going to kill Vision or they were going to destroy and rebuild him, but they killed him. So Vision.
And that's the thing too. They left you with like the fact that like, remember when they're like, "Yo, we can take this out with him still surviving."
Yep, that was dope.
And I thought they were gonna get
people who died in the movie actually though. Heimdall, Loki. I think the Collector was killed by Thanos for him to get that stone. They didn't confirm. Gamora, which was that
was my favorite death.
You don't like
that?
Gamora.
Was my favorite. I hate her so. I don't hate her. I just like we talked about. I think Guardians of the Galaxies. The first movie was dope, and then after they're just annoying. They're annoying.
I will say,
Rocket Raccoon and Groot's the only one.
They were hamming it up a lot with the I don't like Drax. I think Drax is
stupid. He's stupid. I don't like this version of Drax. I don't like Drax. But I've never liked Drax. Like, he's stupid.
So we had Heimdall, Loki, possibly Collector, Gamora, which I mean is a really big death. I didn't see that come. I don't think anyone saw any of the Guardians dying.
Yeah, because they confirmed Guardians 3. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: I think we know, like, any Guardians of the Galaxy can be any of those characters.
So Gamora, and then we'll count Vision as the last kind of like murder. We'll count that.
And here's the thing:
murder.
The way they killed him was awful. Because you didn't see him die
twice.
But they died twice.
By the love of his life, and then.
But the part that was crazy is just when he ripped the stone out of his head, but you don't see him rip. You see him rip it off, but you see his legs dangling,
and then turned.
And then that color.
Man.
That's what that part just gave me. I was like, oh fuck, that was awful.
Okay.
So-
Let me. All right.
Let's break down all the new characters that showed up and stuff. How did you feel about Stephen Strange?
I gotta say, man, it was cool as hell to see him go back and forth with Tony. Because I mean, in that first movie, for me, he was just Mystic Iron Man. That's all he was.
Yeah.
For him to like compete with Tony, and then at the end go against what he promised, because he was the asshole. He didn't like Tony, and he told him straight up, "Look, if it's between you and the fucking kid, I'm picking like the stone because it's the right thing to do, and someone's got to do it." But he ended up, revealing his humanity. No matter how much of an asshole he was, no matter how serious he took his role, he was still like. He's still a good guy.
We hadn't experienced Stephen Strange. That's what I liked about it. The fact that
he was a badass. Dude, he was a bad.
He was good. When he was making people.
When he bowed up with Thanos. Oh, come on.
Dude, when he did that, like, Kaioken times 20, when he made, like, 30 of themselves.
Man.
Bro.
Man.
I'm just telling you right now. Like, that, like, Stephen Strange, like, oof,
he
killed it.
They delivered. And
he fucking delivered.
I need to see, just because the battles with him and Ebony Maw were so dope, I need to see him fight, like, another, like, Sorcerer Supreme level villain.
What's that dude that's coming?
What do you mean?
From the movie. Remember his homeboy that was just like, oh my god,
Dormammu?
Not Dormammu, the other guy.
God damn it! I'm drawing a blank, but
black dude.
I'll find it.
Okay.
I'm drawing a blank, and I know I'm getting yelled.
So
at.
all right, that Dr. Stephen Strange.
Mm-hmm.
We brought that. Okay, how did we feel about? But that's another thing they took from it is. I like the fact that they made Wakanda like the center, kind of like in Infinity. Infinity, that's what happened.
Yo, how about this? How about the fact that they threw us for a loop? Because everyone was betting that the Soul Stone was in Wakanda. There was all those theories about, well, that's what vibranium is, that meteor that crashed on Earth, that's the Soul Stone. But then they took us for a fucking 180, and it turned out Gamora knew where the Soul. So that was like a whole new element. Man, Marvel did a good job leading us one way, and then like, nope, we're introducing some new elements. We're ending it like this. So who? I'm sorry. Who else did you got?
Peter Parker. How'd you like this Spider-Man? How'd you like Spider? Because dude, I'm telling you right now, at one point you were
Baron
hitting
Mordo. Baron Mordo.
Baron Mordo.
That's the name of the black.
You were hitting my arm when Spider-Man was like flying
because
and
it
all
felt
that stuff.
all right. And I feel like I've had this debate like this entire month about that Spider-Man Homecoming movie. I've gone on record to say it didn't feel like a Spider-Man movie. There was too much stuff missing. This movie right here, that felt like Spider-Man. The fact that the spider sense, him being like making those quips when he was saving everyone. Come on, D.
Yeah.
Got you. I'm sorry, I don't know everyone's name. Like and he was just his acting at this
scene, his death scene.
So much heart when he died. So much heart when
he hugs
alive.
him, and he's hugging him. He's like, "Yo, I'm scared."
I will admit, in Homecoming, I was a little like, "Oh man, did they have to include Iron Man and everything? Why does he have to be his mentor?"
That's the thing.
But this, I was sold on this.
You have to, like it's just like,
Gotta
is this your
respect
ward?
it.
He's like, no. Like, oof, God.
So who else we got? Who else you got?
I don't. Thanos. How do you feel about Thanos? Like, listen, how do we feel about Thanos?
I know everyone was making fun of the images that we got of Josh Brolin outside of the armor, but Josh Brolin, holy shit,
he delivered that line very well.
Yeah, he did. That dude's got a voice.
Who's some of the weaker characters? War Machine.
Yeah, some of these characters they just added, like Falcon that got all that screen time.
Dude, I was very upset about that. That was the one thing I was really upset about. I don't feel like I got enough Captain America.
I wanted to go to the Prime because we mentioned Iron Man. So I'll go. Let's go Captain, and we'll go Thor. So Captain America. You're saying that not enough screen time.
His introduction scene, fucking dope.
Yo, real quick, listeners. I don't know if your theater was like ours because we went to AMC Orange Park over here on the west side. So there usually is no. It's like the Wild West. There's really no like courtesy of rules. I have never seen so many applauds. Like there was at least 20 times motherfuckers applauded for no reason. But there was no other moment where people applauded louder than two moments, and I'll reveal the other one later. The first one being when Cap shows up. And the way he shows up, I've never seen a more gangsta entrance ever. Come on.
But that's the thing. That was the part that was even fucking genius because
the shadows.
So you're doing the Scarlet Witch Vision stuff, and you're just like watching him thing, and then out of nowhere
he gets stabbed.
He gets fucking stabbed. You're like, holy shit! You're like, what the fuck?
Oh my god!
And do we see Captain first, or who do we see first?
No, you saw Captain because I think what is it?
No, Black Widow didn't come in and whip some shit.
No, she didn't. No. Look, Proxima was about to throw the trident, but she notices something as the train's passing, and I thought I thought the train was going to explode or some shit, but it's Cap standing in the shadows. He stands out. She throws the spear at him. He dodges it, catches it, and the Black Widow. The sidetrack real quick. Black Widow got, she had some shine, man.
Dude, I like
her choreography. To me, I think is always the best in all these movies.
One of my favorite scenes was basically when you had Black Widow, one of the royal guards, and Scarlet Witch when they
at it with Proxima.
Dude, man, they just showed like it's like, yo, come on, can we just please get a fucking Black Widow movie?
I will agree with you, but those are my thoughts. The Cap scenes that we got, he delivered really well. He was like the unifier. He was the general.
That's funny thing. Everybody was even talking about the fact that when I'll tell you my favorite scene.
Hit it.
It's when when Black Panther was like, yo, drop section blah 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 blah. He's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, and he drops it, and then Black Panther's running,
and then him and Cap are racing.
Cap are racing to beat the fuck out of people. Like I was like, yo, this is fucking amazing.
Right. I think,
and then Winter Soldier and Rocket Raccoon. Come on,
that was a good scene. That was a tight scene. Winter Soldier was another one I felt like they had to play. But and here's the thing. There's no way everyone's going to get the proper shine.
No way.
At least 15, 20 characters.
This movie was very well like paced.
I think and
cut very well.
It was definitely a long one, but you're right. The pacing felt fine. So all right, Iron Man I felt like got a good spotlight. Cap they kind of played him in the background, which is fine. I think he's going to show out in this one. But
the new one, the new Avengers.
Whatever follow.
The fuck it is.
I do want to say I think Thor definitely maybe stole the show.
No, yeah, for hell fucking yeah. This is the most powerful.
The other
Thor.
scene that had that theater rumbling with applause.
Oh my! I know exactly which one you're talking about.
When he showed up in the middle of the Wakanda fight, and that hammer went to fucking town.
Like,
dude, can we talk? I mean, and he had like, because I was like,
dude, that acting was brilliant.
At this point, whenever he went to when he was opening up that machine to let the damn sun or whatever that star shine through, and he was like about to sacrifice himself, there was a moment I was like, you know what, I have been wrong about a few things. Thor could possibly die. I was like, I don't know what to expect anymore. Thor might die. But when Groot had like a dope little moment too when he ended up piecing together his Stormbreaker and he chopped his own arm off for it to be the handle. Man, goodness gracious.
And the thing is called Storm. Dude, I'm telling you right now, as soon as he said Stormbreaker, yeah, instant hard on. I was like, holy fuck, you're doing it, Peter. They're doing it. Like, holy fuck, dude. Thor, I'm telling you right now, Thor, man, he had some of the best scenes. Like, I'm telling you right now, Thor actually had all the. Out of all of them, stuff like that, acting-wise, Thor outshined Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. Like, I would honestly, like, Thor was my favorite character. They developed him so much. This is a dude that watched his brother get murdered, his best friend get murdered.
He had that moment with Rocket, man, where he was like, what else do I got to lose? Even if I do die against Thanos.
Dude, when he meets Gamora.
I lost my sister, dad, and brother.
Yeah, Gamora was like, yo, I had to like... that was the funny thing when Peter Quill was like, yo, I killed my dad for killing my mom.
As much as... The quips and the one-ups with the Guardians got a little stale. I will admit that the interaction with Peter Quill and Thor was probably my favorite.
I love mentions that they call him. I like when they called him fat because I'm like, yeah, you are the fattest of the Avengers. He's like, yo, you're one sandwich away from being fat.
No, like, yes. it was when Peter Quill was like, when he started like
mocking him,
mocking his voice. What do you mean? You're talking deep. Yeah, you're doing it again.
That was really good.
Oh my god!
Damn, Thor was so freaking good. Like, good.
I'm gonna get a Bowflex.
Dude,
yep, I'm committed.
Peter Dinklage, dude.
Which it's like I was telling you yesterday. I started watching Game of Thrones, and then to see him here, I'm like, yo, this motherfucker is haunting me. Like he is following me now, which was another welcome surprise because I don't think anyone even was thinking about.
No, that's like one of the best. Like this movie's done so many good surprises. Like they've done so many good surprises, so many good like introduction to characters, so many developing pacing and stuff like that. I'll tell you right now, Thor and Thanos, like fuck, that was good.
I will say, oh, I'm sorry. There's two things I really appreciate. One is the fact that they didn't let Hulk be the crutch. Like, you know, in these past Avengers movies, it's always been like, well, we got a Hulk. Well, they said, Loki says that off the bat, and we got a Hulk didn't mean shit to Thanos. I like that he didn't, because I was expecting at some point Hulk to bust out of that Hulk Buster armor. We get full Raging Hulk. I was like, any minute now. I'm like, any minute now. Come on, any minute now. When he's fighting, what's the
Black Dwarf.
Black Dwarf. I was like, any minute now. But then he outsmarts him and fucking kills him.
It's funny. They did that in Infinity because I think the reason why he couldn't change. They did. Remember in Infinity, they were fighting Hulk.
Hulk shows up in issue 5.
That's what I'm saying. He goes to show up to fight him. They stab him with that trident, and he couldn't transform after that.
That's right.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not linked and that's the thing. So that's another thing they established too. It's the fact that Thor and Banner are two different people. Because that's one thing. They did a good job of he's just pleading with him. I
was really waiting to see. I thought we were going to get a little deeper with the Hulk issue. I think the Hulk issue is that he's never been beaten, and I think Hulk's spirit is broken.
Yeah.
So the other thing I will say I appreciate is with Thanos, and I'm probably gonna make a bunch of Thanos references. So if you see me out in the streets and you ask me about Avengers, be prepared for Thanos commentary. The other thing I like about how they handled Thanos was he still had to go through the trial. So it was kind of like we got the Thanos quest story where he has to go to all these demigods or these tasks. Because, like I said, I was just like, man, Thanos is going to already be badass. He's going to already, he's not going to have to suffer much. But
no, he suffered
the fact that he still had to be tested. Like when he went, that Red Skull scene is so fucking awesome, man. When he starts crying and Gamora's like tears. And
you don't love nothing.
Red Skull's like, them tears aren't for him.
Those are for you. He threw that bitch down the thing.
God, man.
I was so happy. I was like, yes. I was just like, I would have done with a smile. I'm like, you acting sucks.
So let me ask this. Where do you think they're going to go? Because I don't think anyone was expecting that ending. And I don't think I was expecting it because of how the news kept changing. Where at first we knew that this was going to be a 2-part movie, but then they retracted and was like, no, it's not going to be. It won't be named Infinity War Part 2. It's going to be named something else. I think once I heard that, I was like, okay, well, then this will be wrapped up nicely.
I want to know what the Russo brothers are doing. Like what movie they're directing next. If they're going to be doing the new Avengers movie, bro. I don't even know what's what because the movie that we're getting next is Ant-Man and Wasp, and it's like. They're not going to make no mentions of that. We're getting Ant-Man and Wasp, and then they did that end credit scene with Captain Marvel.
Do you think that this is? I mean, I might. This might just be redundant asking this, but do you think this is the crown jewel of the MCU?
Yeah. No. This is like.
Because for me, Civil War, I held that as like the crown jewel. Like this was the epitome of all of it coming together.
I really don't know because I think you can break it. In anything that you love and you appreciate, you can break everything down into subgenres. Like, what's your favorite origin movie? What's your favorite team movie? What's your favorite blah 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 movie? I think with this one right now, it's so hyped. I need to see it again.
Oh, absolutely.
I need to see it again, and
it's so long that you missed something.
Bro,
I
missed a fire. I was studying it like it was like.
Man, I think I ditto. I was like, I'm listening to everything. I'm catching everything. I'm not missing anything. But when you catch it the second time, there's going to be some background detail or some phrase or quote that you didn't hear the first time. I want to ask you, as much praise as that we've done in the past.
What was the secret weapon?
What do you mean?
Well, so my thing was they. So I follow Hot Toys, and Hot Toys they released the Captain America figure, right? But they put this mystery thing. They gave him like the weird shield and stuff like that.
Shields are kind of weird. I was waiting for him to get his shield.
I really don't know where that is. Yeah. But the Hot Toys says like mystery weapon will be revealed. I'm like, yo, what is this mystery weapon to be revealed? Like,
you think it'll? I don't know. I mean, if it's a Captain America toy,
I will show you the figure and stuff. But right. I mean,
if you could change one thing, what is one? If you could, do you have any one
kill
thing?
Gamora faster.
Why don't you like Gamora? Like, why her among all of them?
She's like, to me, she's like her like.
Is it because you don't like Zoe Saldana, or do you not just like Gamora?
I just don't think her acting is very that well. Like, it's just I don't know.
This is one of them.
It's just one of those, like, I can't really explain it. I just don't like her. Like, when she gets on screen, I'm like, yo, I cannot wait for her to die.
Fans, if you ever get to know Drew, I call these things Druisms, where it's like you can't explain it. It's just how he feels. This is a Druism.
It's because she comes in like it's just like yo, like I don't like. Oof.
But is there anything that in the movie that you feel that you wish they either would have expanded on a little more or changed? Is there anything you didn't like about it off the bat? I know that we're coming off a very high and all these emotions, but is there anything that you could look back and say, I didn't really care for that, or I didn't like that? I think right now the only thing I heard you say was the Guardians were your least favorite part.
Yeah, the Guardians were that was the only part that was like just least. I don't know. They did. I mean, this movie was so good. I mean, it gave me everything I needed. Like, it gave me. It was funny when it needed to be funny. It was dramatic when it needed to be dramatic. Like, the only thing I wanted was more Winter Soldier, and I wanted to see more like of that team up of like, because Civil War did a good job when like people were teaming up and fighting each other and doing all stuff. That's one thing I got really excited about. One thing that I did love is when they mentioned Ant-Man and Hawkeye for a brief second that says that they're...
It was like they were tying everything, like all the loose ends.
And that's the thing. That's the one thing that I caught was... So the thing you caught was the fact that Scott and Hawkeye work for the government.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said, yep.
That's what they got. Okay, so that's the part that I like. I like the fact that they make mention of them. They're like, hey, they work for the government, and it's just... Right.
So I'll mention the thing I didn't like, and then I'll mention the thing that I do like a lot. Another thing I like, one of 100 things I really like a lot. One, I think I'm on the same boat. Because it's such a long movie, there's bound to be some parts where you're like, okay, moving along. And mine was always the kind of Guardian scene, because I was like, okay, I get it. You guys are gonna try to one up each other, quip here, one-liner at this very serious moment. Okay, I got it. Hurry up and move. And that was my complaint about Guardians 2, was that they should have let a lot of those emotional moments just breathe instead of like adding a joke and then getting rid of it, which I think is a common criticism of Marvel along with the villains. But that, and this is a very minutia like critique, but only because it just was so blaring to me. But in that last scene when they're all like mourning everyone dying all of a sudden, Hulk in the back and that CG.
Oh yeah, the CGI looked really bad.
The CGI was so shitty, dude.
Yeah.
When it will, for the listeners, I'm talking about the scene where he's got the armor up. They've defeated Thanos left, and it's just like his. It's Bruce Banner, and then half of it, his top half, and then the rest. He's in the Hulkbuster suit. That CGI is really bad. Like, really eye-glaringly, like, I couldn't stop looking at it.
It's the one thing out of place.
Yeah, I was like...
It's the one thing out of place, like, yeah, because you have yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, because when I saw that scene, I was just like, oh,
yes,
God,
I was like,
this is awful.
I can't stop looking at it. It's like a train wreck.
Worst fucking Gundam I've ever seen.
And then I'll say this, and then I'll ask you about the ending, and then we can wrap up, but the ending, man, I'm happy that Marvel... Because... we're talking 10 years of movies, 18 films. All of them have ended pretty similar, where the superhero wins out, where you could see it coming. It's like, the superhero's going to win in the end, etc.
It's still a two-part movie. This movie's not finished. You know how we said, like, it's going to make it a two-part? This movie's not finished. In no way, shape, or form, this movie's finished. There's no way. I wasn't on live during that period. I definitely didn't see it when it came out, etc. This is what I imagine, and I'm asking anyone that did live during this period to correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I imagine when people were watching The Empire Strikes Back. Right? That's the one where they lose, right? Yeah. You reveal that like Darth Vader's the father.
This is what I would imagine feels like when Empire Strikes Back, where they left on that low note.
That is a good reference. I like that. You know what? Basically, Avengers Infinity is the Empire Strikes Back because they didn't win. Exactly. They lost, and there was a lot of stuff coming out.
They just broke the formula. That's what I love about it, is that they gave us something different. They could have, like I said, it's been 10 years. It's been 18 movies. All of them have been ended pretty similar, but then they come through the biggest. This is definitely going to break some records. But the biggest film, the big lead up, the crown jewel, as me and Drew has been saying, and they decide to go, we're going to go left instead of right. Everyone's expecting us to go right. Let's go left. Let's leave them on the low note. Now they have to come back. Because for a lot of people, I'm sure it's like, all right, this is superhero fatigue. We know how this is going to end. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to be done. But it's like, nope. You what are you gonna do? Stop here?
I'm telling you right now. We mentioned it in the car. I'm on borrowed time because I made I made a deal with God. I was like, listen, man, you let me watch those Dark Knight Return movies and let me finish it. Like, I'll be forever grateful. Like, now you give me all these Avengers. I don't know what I'm gonna like give up just so I can finish this movie. Like, geez Louise, man. Like, oh my gosh.
All right. The last question I'll ask is your thoughts on that end credit scene. Because I feel like
I was just whack as shit. Like, I didn't. Like, yeah, it's just a whack as shit. Like, I was just like, oh, okay.
I guess it made sense because it's like, well, what can you do for an end credit that you haven't done for 3 hours of this movie? Like, what would you have wanted to see? Like, what do you think? What did you want to like them to tease for the next thing?
Tease for the next thing?
Yeah. How would you have done the end credit?
Secret Warriors.
Secret Warriors? I thought... Well, expand on that. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, Nick Fury... I'm really glad they gave us Nick Fury. Mm-hmm. Like, they gave us Nick Fury back, but they did this for S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, when the TV show S.H.I.E.L.D. came out, they did Secret Warriors. They have Yo-Yo. They have all these people. It's just... To me, like, Nick Fury has all these plans and, like, all these things and back and stuff like that. So I know that he would have, like, more superhero teams and stuff.
I was thinking...
Because, like, you mean to tell me that Captain Marvel's going to come by herself? Like, there's nobody else with her? Nobody else.
And, well, let's think about it. Why do you think he would risk his life sending the SOS to Captain Marvel? What do we know about Captain Marvel could they use in the movie to leverage that she's the only one that could save the world?
I have no fucking clue.
I'm thinking maybe either the fact that her having like the Kree powers or the Captain Marvel powers is enough to leverage or undo what Thanos is doing or go toe to toe. That's the only thing I can think of.
I have no idea. I have really no clue.
I was really thinking that Pager was going to say like Avengers 2 or Avengers group or Secret Avengers or whatever, like another team. Like he was going to call on like, oh, I've got a secret team that I've been working on this whole time. Mm-hmm. That's what I was expecting.
Now, I am excited because at one point now you can bring Nova into this. Man. That like.
Well, he said that Thanos got one of the stones by destroying
Xandar. But well, I mean, the thing is, the Nova Corps. So, like, we don't know what happened. Really don't know what happened.
I think that there's room to make a movie where it's about the last Nova, or like this one last Shield, or whatever Nova Corps member enlist, whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Because one thing they didn't do is just like, I don't know. There's so much stuff. I mean, fuck. You can even do Starbrand.
There's a lot of stuff you can do.
There's so much stuff right now. Like, Marvel owns everything. Like, I'm telling you right now, like, DC, you better fucking wake up.
Because the only movie we have up next is Ant-Man and Wasp, right? So I wonder how they're going to tackle the timeline. You said that you're thinking that it's going to be like a pre...
Well, no, they've already said it. Captain Marvel is a prequel.
No, I'm not sorry, not Captain Marvel.
Ant-Man and Wasp is going to be side. It's not going to be before. It's going to be taking place at the same time, maybe. You want to take a bet? I think at the end of that Ant-Man and Wasp movie, I think one of them disappears. Does the whole like fade away thing. Oh shit!
Wouldn't that be? I think it might either be Wasp or Wasp.
No, it'd be Wasp.
Or their dad.
Nope, it'd be Wasp. Because if Paul Rudd were to like disappear and stuff like that, it's like, well, let's find another Ant-Man. If Wasp does it, then you have Hank Pym even more trying to get to her.
I like that. Let's see if that happens.
Oh, fuck.
So, folks, it is.
Do we have any theories of why certain superheroes passed on?
I think I was because
we still have Tony, we still have Cap.
Yep.
We still have
Thor.
Wait, did War Machine disappear? Yeah.
No. Falcon did.
Falcon disappeared.
Yep. Black Panther disappeared, which is crazy.
All the new people, all the Phase 2 people disappeared.
I was about to say all
the Phase 8. I'm telling you right now. No, the only people because Black Widow's still around.
Yep.
So Black Widow's still around.
Shit.
So Bruce is still around.
Yep.
Captain America's still around.
The Prime.
Tony,
the Prime
Thor,
are there.
so you have the Prime. So the original cast is here.
To be honest, it's all the Guardians are gone. Groot disappeared.
Oh, who the fuck cares?
Drax disappeared. Peter disappeared.
Rocket's still around.
Yep, Rocket's
still around. Because you think so. I mean, but everybody loves Rocket. Fuck, dude.
That's a unique team. That's a pretty dope lineup.
That's gonna be, and that's the thing too, because like a lot of people were like, so the biggest thing was when people were like, when Adam sent us that text, like, do you know who's in the Hulkbuster? I got so pissed when he sent that because I was just like, fuck. So then my head was just like, well, I think maybe Rocket Raccoon might have been in the Hulkbuster. Because I was like, maybe, because I mean, he likes all those machines and stuff. And then like when you find his Bruce Banner, you're like, ah.
I'm also gonna throw my hat in for another guess. I think if we get another Avengers movie or whatever comes up next to follow up for this, I think it's going to be a darker and more serious thing. Because you got rid of a lot of the jokesters, and you put all of these heroes in a position.
Scarlet Witch left, right?
No, I think she was still alive.
No, I think Scarlet Witch died too. No, yeah, she did.
Okay.
I think Scarlet Witch went. Vision's body's still there. Still cold.
I think the next one is going to be darker, more serious. Half of your jokesters are gone. you put all of the Avengers and all the characters in a position to like mourn and be pissed. Like they have a reason now. They were defending the world. Now I think it's gonna be more of a revenge thing. Like,
how do you bring them back now? Do you think Black Panther 2 is gonna have Shuri as Black Panther?
Man, well, that depends. Do we get the other Avengers movie before Black Panther? I got to see where the lineup is.
They did say that this movie changes everything. This is a clean slate. That's what they said.
So that means all the other movies, because the only other movies that we know are coming. I need to look at that list of what's the movies coming out, because all I know is Ant-Man and Wasp, Captain Marvel, and that's all I know.
The new Avengers movie. It's the untitled one that they're filming right now.
So that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The untitled Avenger movie is coming out. I was going to say
every other movie after this either has to be a prequel to all this, or they have to wrap it up nicely. I don't know, but it's getting late, folks.
I'm tired.
Yeah, me too, dude. I think I'm coming down from that high. So I do want to say, if you guys have your own theories or want to expand on some of the ideas that we brought up, or even share your own review, because there's so much to hear, and I'm actually really excited to hear a lot of our listeners' thoughts. Please shoot us an email at theshortboxjacks@gmail.com, or shoot us a message on any of our social media. Like I said, I'm excited. I want to hear your thoughts. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll catch you guys in a couple weeks. Peace.